You know that kind of overconfidence where someone thinks they're completely untouchable, so much so that they actually record themselves breaking the law? That's Johnny Somali. After months of watching this disaster unfold in South Korea, it's clear this isn't just a minor legal issue or a temporary setback. Johnny has burned every bridge, closed every exit, and somehow convinced himself he's winning while live streaming his own downfall. At this point, he's not just facing jail time, he's realizing his American passport might as well be useless. Because when you spend an entire year mocking a country, disrespecting its people, and then plead not guilty to crimes you literally filmed yourself committing, you're not being clever, you're gambling with your life. And the odds are in his favor. Johnny's looking at up to 12 years in a Korean prison, and that's only for the charges already filed. 6 of them he's confessed to, because even his lawyer couldn't twist public disturbance and obstruction of business into some kind of performance art. But the real chaos comes from the 2 deep fake charges he's still denying, even though he's openly admitted to sharing that content. That's not a defense. That's delusion. At this point, even his lawyer must be wondering why he signed up for this circus. And here's the kicker. Even if Johnny appeals, he's doing it from inside a Korean jail cell. No bail, no house arrest. Just cold concrete walls and the slow realization that consequences are real. Some reports claim he could face up to 46 years, but reliable sources suggest a maximum of around 12. Honestly, most people doubt he'd even survive that long. He said it himself. Open quote. "If I get sent to prison again, I'm gonna go psycho." Close quote. And judging by everything we've seen, he's probably right. Now let's talk about the witnesses lining up against him. It's basically a highlight reel of all the people he's wronged. There's Bong Bong and Youngman, the victims of his deepfake mess. But the real twist? Dunn, the Korean Navy SEAL who punched Johnny in that viral clip, is also testifying. Yeah, that guy. The same man Johnny snitched on afterward, despite bragging that he never rats. Now Dunn gets to sit in court, look him dead in the eye, and tell the judge exactly what kind of person harasses women for views. And unlike Johnny's usual victims, Dunn isn't scared. He's trained for underwater demolition. He's not about to be intimidated by a washed-up streamer with a victim complex. The irony is brutal. Johnny built his brand on being untouchable, bragging that he always wins. He even claimed he traveled to Japan with no issues, conveniently leaving out the part where the Yakuza chased him out, forcing him to run to Thailand. Then he arrived in South Korea, thinking his US passport was some kind of diplomatic shield. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. Within hours, he was harassing locals, interrupting live events, and blasting North Korean propaganda on public transport like it was a prank show. That's not confidence. That's self-destruction on autopilot. And speaking of propaganda, he literally live-streamed what could be considered national security violations in a country still technically at war. The man studied Korean laws on his own streams, then went out and broke them on camera. That's not content creation. That's building evidence for the prosecution. But what truly sealed his fate wasn't just the crimes, it was his attitude. When he finally appeared in court, this was his moment to apologize, show remorse, maybe even earn some leniency. Instead, he showed up an hour late, allegedly drunk, and told the judge to suck his That's not just stupidity, that's career suicide. Even Ice Poseidon, the guy who basically invented chaotic IRL streaming, has publicly disowned him. When the godfather of internet degeneracy says you've gone too far, you're done. Now, about Johnny's finances. Things look just as grim. He's been stuck in Korea for over a year, burning through his last dollars while his income dried up. His former friend Hank admitted he spent nearly $20,000 helping Johnny, and they're no longer even speaking. So now, Johnny's borrowing money to pay lawyers to defend him for crimes he literally broadcast in 4K. It's like hiring someone to explain why water is wet. Meanwhile, Korean prosecutors are quietly stacking evidence. Every hearing brings new charges because Johnny can't stop incriminating himself. Most criminals hide evidence. Johnny produces it live. The prosecutors just press play. Recently, a documentary trailer dropped summarizing his entire downfall, and it's painful to watch. Johnny went from wannabe streamer to international embarrassment, all while believing he was the victim. In his latest court appearances, he's finally starting to look defeated, wearing proper clothes, acting more serious, but it's far too late. The witnesses are ready, the evidence is airtight, and his lawyer's last-ditch argument that Johnny only shared deepfakes but didn't create is like saying you only drove the getaway car. Legally, it doesn't matter. His final trial date? October 29th, exactly 1 year after Dunn's famous punch. Poetic justice doesn't get clearer than that. Johnny spent a year believing he could outsmart the Korean justice system. Now he's learning the hard way that confidence doesn't equal immunity. He rejected plea deals that could have saved him years. And for what? Ego. So when people ask, will Johnny Somali ever come home? The answer isn't just probably not. It's why would he? He's burned every bridge, alienated every friend, and turned himself into a cautionary tale. Even if he finishes his sentence and gets deported, he'll return to a country where his legacy is being the American who got humbled by the Korean justice system and cried about it online. That's not redemption. That's a lifetime reminder of how far someone can fall for content no one even wanted to see. Because at the end of the day, Johnny Somali isn't just facing prison. He's facing reality, the one where American privilege doesn't save you, and the house always wins. He gambled his freedom thinking he was untouchable. Now he's learning the hard way that in Korea, the house doesn't just win, it takes everything you have and makes you pay interest on the lesson. Peace. Change is made.